idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? Wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome? You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things! Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome! No, you're not Pompey. Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, towers and windows, at the chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation. This say great Pompey, past the streets of Rome. And do you not put on your best attire? And do you not go on a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes the triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone! Run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to return the plague that these must light this ingratitude.
Go, go, good countrymen, and for this fault assemble all the poor men of your sort. Draw them to Tiber banks, and weep your tears into the channel, till the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. Go you down that way towards the Capitol. This way will I disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch, who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness.
Calpurnia!
Here, my lord.
Stand you directly in Antonius' way when he doth run his course. Antonius.
Caesar, my lord!
Forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia. For our elders say the Baron, touched in this holy race, shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember. When Caesar says do this, it is performed.
Set on and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar!
Caesar!
Ha! Who calls?
Bid every noise be still. Peace yet again.
Who is it in the press that calls on me?
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me. Let me see his face.
Fellow, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you see the order of the race?
Not I.
I pray you do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of a quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius. Your desires, I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not your eyes that gentleness and show of love that I want to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I veiled my look, I turned the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which gives some soils perhaps to my behaviors. But let's not therefore, my good friends, be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one, nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men.
Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath thought of great value, Worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, do you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things.
'Tis just. And it's very lamented that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow.
See your shadow.
I have heard from the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus, and had wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? That you would have me seek into myself for which is and not unto me.
Therefore, Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself, I, as by glass, will modestly discover in yourself which of yourself you yet not know of.
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
The people choose
Aye.
Caesar.
Do you fear it? Then must I think you may not have it so.
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it you would impart to me?
Well, honor is the subject of my story. I was born free as Caesar.
Was born free.
So were you. We have both fed well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once upon a raw and gusty day, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, I plunged in and bade him follow. But yet, ere day we could arrive at the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" I, as Anisus as our great ancestors did from the flames of Troy, upon his shoulder, I did the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god. And Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body if Caesar carelessly but nods on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain. And when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. His cowardly lips did as their color fly, and the eye that bend off all the world did lose his luster. It cried, "Give me some drink," as a sick girl. Ye gods, it doth amaze me how a man of such feeble temper should start a majestic world and bear the palms alone.
Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man doth bend the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men as sometimes are masters of their own fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves.
But in ourselves.
That we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should his name sound more than yours? Write them. Yours is as fair a name.
As fair a name.
Sound them. It doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them. It is heavy. Conjure them. Brutus shall start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Oh, you and I have heard our father say that there was a Brutus once that have brooked the eternal devil to keep his states in Rome as easily as a king.
That you do love me. I am nothing jealous.
I am nothing
What would you work me to? I have some aim. How? I have thought of this and of these times. I shall recount hereafter. And for this present, I would not so of love, I would entreat you. Be any further moved, what you have said. I shall consider what you have to say. I will of patience hear and find a time, both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself as a noble son of Rome. Under these hard conditions at a time is like to lay upon us.
I'm glad that my weak words have struck, but thus must show a fire from Brutus.
The games are done. It's Caesar's returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, will tell you what hath proceeded worthy noted today.
Caesar?
Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter, but I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. Such men as he be never at heart's ease whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is deaf, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
You pulled me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Casca. Tell us what has chanced today that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand. Thus and then the people fell a-shouting.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well as be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery, and I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown neither. 'Twas one of these coronets. And as I told you, he put it by once, but for all that to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again. Then he put it by again. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by, and still as he refused it, the rabblements hooted and clapped their chapped hands, and threw up their sweaty nightcaps, and uttered such a deal of stinking breath, because Caesar refused the crown, that it almost choked Caesar, for he swammed it and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh, for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But, soft, I pray you. What did Caesar swound?
He fell down in the marketplace, and foamed at mouth, and was speechless.
'Tis very like. He hath the falling sickness.
Nay, Caesar hath it not. But you and I, and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure. Caesar fell down.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Merry before he fell down. When he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me ope his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. When he came to himself again, he said if he had said or done anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, "Alas, good soul!" and forgave him with all their hearts. But there is no heed to be taken of them. Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And after that he came the sad way.
Aye,
Did Cicero say anything?
he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I tell you that I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news too. Marcus and Flavius, for pulling scarfs off of Caesar's images, are put to silence. Fare you well. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it. Farewell both.
It's a blunt fellow this is going to be.
This rudeness is a source of his good wit, which gives men stomach to digest for better appetites.
And so it is. And for this time, I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you, or if you will, come home to me, and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, art thou noble? Yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought. For this it is disposed. It is meet that every noble mind keep their controversy. For who is so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus and he were Cassius, he will not humor me. I will of this night, in several hands, in at his window, throw as if they came from several citizens, writing all the great attending that Rome holds of his names, and Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this, Caesar shall be seated for sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure.
Good evening, Casca. Brought you Caesar home? Why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
I have seen tempest when the scolding winds have ride the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds that it point upon. But never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Why? Saw you anything more wonderful?
Against the Capitol, I met a lion who glared upon me and went surly by without annoying me. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say these are their reasons. They are natural, for I believe they are pretentious things unto the climate that they point upon.
Come Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow?
He doth.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman.
Casca, by your voice.
Your ear is good. Cassius, what night is this?
A very perilous night for honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens meant it so.
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto this perilous night.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods by tokens send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are too dull, Casca. And those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want. Or else, use not. You look pale and gaze, and put on fear, and cast yourself in wander of strange impatience of the heavens. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night that thunders, lightnings, open graves and roar as doth the lion in the Capitol. A man more mightier than thyself or me in personal actions. Yet prodigious groan and fearfulness as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is. Romans now have views and limbs as to like their ancestors. But, woe in the while, our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mother's spirit. Our yoke and insufferances show us womanish.
Indeed. They say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king.
Then I will know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius, in bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, you tyrants do defeat. If I know all the world, that besides tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man, I know he is not a wolf, but that he sees Romans are but sheep. But, oh grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman. But I am armed, and dangerous are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca. Hold my hand, and be factitious for redress of all these griefs. And I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already some of the most noble mind in Roman that will undergo with me an enterprise of honorable and dangerous consequence. Come, Casca, you and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house, for 3 parts of him is ours already. The entire man upon the next encounter yields him ours.
Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
Lucius! I cannot by the progress of the stars give a guess how near today. Lucius, I say! And would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say! What? Lucius!
Called you, my lord?
Get me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me here.
I will, my lord.
It must be by his death.
It must be by his death.
And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him. But for the general, he'd be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question.
There's the
It
question.
is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves weary walking. Crown him!
Crown
That, and then, I grant, we put the sting in him, that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse from greatness. When it destroys remorse from power, and to speak truth of Caesar. I have not known when his affections swayed more than his reason. 'Tis common proof that lowliness young ambition's a ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost around, he then onto the ladder turns his back, looks to the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar made. Then, lest he may, prevent, insistent quarrel, will bear no color for the thing he is, fashioned thus, and what he is, augmented, would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would as his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
Kill him in the shell.
I found this paper, thus sealed up, and I'm sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again? It is not day. It's not tomorrow, boy, the eyes of March.
I know not, sir.
Look at the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
The exhalations whizzing in the air give so much light that I may read by them. Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake and see thyself.
See thyself.
Shall Rome and etc. speak, strike, redress. Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake!
Awake!
Such as the gaseous have been often dropped where I took them up. Shall Rome and etc. Thus must I speak it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What Rome my ancestors did. From the streets of Rome, the Tarquin drive, when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress.
Speak, strike, redress.
Am I entreated to speak and strike?
Speak and strike.
O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
The hand of Brutus.
Sir, March has wasted 14 days.
Tis good. Go to the gate. Somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council. And the states of man, like little to a kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, sir. Their hats are plucked about their ears and half their faces buried in their cloaks, that by no means I may discover them by any mark of favor.
Let them enter. They are the faction.
I think we are too bold upon your rest.
Oh, tomorrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I have these men that come along with you.
Yes, every man of them, and every man but here honors you, and have wished that you had that opinion that every Roman bears of you. This, Decius Brutus.
He is welcome.
This, Casca. And this, Patella Cimber.
They are all welcome. Give your hands all over, one by one.
Now let us swear on our resolution.
No, not to know, if not the face of men, the sufferings of our souls, the times abuse. If these be motives weak, then break off bad times and every man hence to his idle bag. So let high-sided tyranny range on, till each man drop off by lottery. But if these, as I'm sure they do, bear fire enough to kneel cowards to steal with valor, the melting spirits of women and countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause? To prick us to redress, but what other oath than honesty to honesty engaged? That this shall be it, or will we fall for it? Swear priests or cowards or men catalysts, old feeble carriers of such suffering souls that welcome wrongs we do not stain, and even our virtue, our enterprise, to think that, or our cause, or our performance, did need an oath when every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of several bastardy. If he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar?
Decius. Well urged, I think it not meet. Mark Antony so well beloved of Caesar, shall outlive Caesar. We shall see him as a shrewd contriver. And you know his means, if he do improve them, will so far as to annoy us all. To prevent this, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and hack the limb, like wrath and death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but the limb of Caesar. Let us be sacrifices, but not to butchers, Caius. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And, gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fits for gods, not hew him as a carcass fits for hounds. Let's be called purgers, not murderers. And, for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he could do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet, I fear him, for his engrafted love he has for Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, think not of him, for if he do love Caesar, all he can do is to himself take thoughts and die for Caesar. And that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company. Peace. Count the clock.
The clock has stricken 3. 'Tis time to part. But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar shall come forth today or no, for his superstitions are grown of late. It may be the unaccustomed terror of the night that will keep him from the capital today.
Never fear that, if he be so resolved. I can o'ersway him, for he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with tolls, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then the most flattered. Let me work, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we all of us will be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour.
The morning that comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus. Friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said and show yourselves true Romans.
Good friends, look fresh and merrily. It is not our looks puts on our purposes, but to bear them as the Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. So good morrow to you, everyone. Boy, Lucius, fast asleep. It does no matter. Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures nor no fantasies, which busy care does draw on the brains of men. Therefore thou sleepest so sound.
Brutus? My lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to this raw, cold morning.
Nor for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about musing and sighing with your arms across. When I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. I would not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. It couldn't work so much upon your shape as to have much prevailed on your condition. I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What, is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add on to his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. Why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had to resort to you, For here have been some 6 or 7 who do hide their faces, even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it expected I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure. If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visits my sad heart.
If this were true, then I should know this secret. I grant, I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. Tell me your consuls, I would not disclose them. I have made a strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets?
Oh, ye gods! Render me worthy this noble wife. Portia, go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All of my engagements I will construe to thee, all of the character of my sad brows. Leave me with haste.
Nor heaven nor earth hath been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, "Help ho! They murder Caesar!" Who's within?
What? Me and you, Caesar, think you to walk forth. You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shout forth. The things that threaten me ne'er look but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood upon ceremonies, yet they frighten me. There's one within, besides the things that we have seen and heard. Recounts the most horrid sight seen by the watch. The lions have walked in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fought upon the clouds, in ranks and squadrons in right forms of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol, and the noise of battle hurtled in the air. Oh, horses did neigh and dying men did groan. Oh, ghosts shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, all of these things are beyond use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in this house and not your own. We shall send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say that you are not well today. But me, upon my knee, prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor, I will stay at home. Here's Decius Brutus. He shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail! Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I have come to fetch you to the Senate house.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afraid to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go and tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate, but for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which, like a fountain with 100 spouts, did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these she does apply for warnings, and portents and evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged me to stay home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision, fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathe, signifies that from you, great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and thy great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognate. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
Besides, it were not up to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate house till another time when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hides himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar. My dear, dear love to our proceedings bids me to tell you this. The reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did yield to them. And look where Brutus has come to fetch me. Welcome. What, Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca. What is the o'clock?
Caesar, 'tis struck an 8.
I thank you for your pains and courtesy. See, Antony, that rebel's long o' nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
So to most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you called on me today. Be near me that I may remember you, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
Every like is not the same. O Caesar, the heart of Brutus yearns to think upon.
Dear Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca. Decius Brutus loves thee not. There's but one mind in all of these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee, thy lover, Artemidorus. Here I will stand until Caesar passes along, and as a suitor, I will give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Hell, Caesar! Read this schedule.
I doth desire you to read at your best leisure this my humble suit.
Oh, great Caesar, read mine first, as mine's the suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourselves shall be last served.
Delay not, read it instantly.
What? Is the fellow mad? Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must now redress?
Most high, most mighty, most puissant Caesar, must tell us Simber those before thy seat,
I must prevent thee, Cimber. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way.
Is there no voice more worthy of my own, to some more sweetly and great to his ear, for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar. Caesar. Pardon. As low as thy foot doth Cassius fall, I do beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber. I would be well moved if I were as you. If I pray to move, prayers will move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fix and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. Let me a little show it. Even in this, that I was constant Cimber should be banished, and constant do remain in Sir.
Hence! Wilt thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar!
Doth not Brutus bootless knee?
Speak! Hands for me!
A2, Brute?
Fall, Caesar! Fall.
Liberty! Freedom! Tyranny is dead! Run hence! Proclaim! Cry it about the streets!
Some to the common pulpits and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement!
People and senators, be not frightened. Fly not, stand stiff. Ambitious debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius too.
Let no man abide this deed but we the doers. Fates, even know your pleasures that we shall die. We know 'tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why, he doth cuts off 20 years of living, cuts off many years of fearing death.
Stoop, Romans, stoop. And let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, waving our red weapons o'er our heads. Let us cry, peace!
Peace!
Liberty!
Liberty!
Freedom!
Freedom! Stoop then, and watch. How many ages shall our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport as now in Pompey's basis lies along no worthier than the dust?
So often shall this be, that we will be called the men that gave our country liberty.
What shall we forth?
Every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we shall grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
So, who comes here? A friend of Antony's?
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down. And being prostrate, he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say I love Brutus and I honor him. Say I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him, and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead, so well as Brutus living. So says my master Antony.
He shall be satisfied. I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish we may, but have I a mind to fear him much, and my misgivings still fall shrewdly to the purpose.
But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world.
Oh, Antony, beg not your death of us, though now we must appear bloody and cruel. Our hearts see not, they are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome, as fire drives out fire. So pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points, and our arms and our strengths of heart and our malice of brother's temper do receive you in of all kind of love, good thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man of this disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude, besides themselves with fear. Then he will deliver you the cause why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom, gentlemen, all. Alas, what shall I say? That I did love thee, Caesar, oh, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death to see thy Antony making his peace and shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, most noble, in the presence of thy corpse?
Mark Antony.
Pardon me, Caius Cassius, the enemies of Caesar shall say this. Then in a friend, it is called modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar. But what have you condemned with us today? Will you be pricked in number of our friends? Or shall we on? And we do not depend on you.
Therefore, I took your hands. I seek that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You do not know of what you do. Do not give consent that Antony speak at his funeral. You know that the people will be moved, of which he will utter.
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpits first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. It shall advantage us more than do us wrong.
I like it not.
Here, take you Caesar's body. And in your funeral speech, you will not blame us, and speak all good you could devise of Caesar, and say you do it by permission.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cover all the parts of Italy. O pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with Ate by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines in a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony. He lies tonight within the 7 leagues of Rome. Oh, Caesar.
Thy heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion, I see it, is catching from mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand and nigh, and began to watch him. Post back with speed, and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome. A dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavius yet.
We will be satisfied.
Let us be satisfied. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. We will be satisfied.
To be silent! That you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say, not that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more.
I love Rome more.
Had you rather that Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead and live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There's tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition.
Death for his ambition.
Who is here so base thou to be a bondman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so rude thou be a Roman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any, speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply.
None, Brutus, none.
No, then none have I offended. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefits of his dying. A place in the Commonwealth, for which of you shall not? With this I depart. Though I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus, live!
Live!
Bring him with triumph home unto his house.
Give him a statue with his ancestors.
Let him be Caesar. Caesar's better part shall be crowned in Brutus.
We'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamor.
My countrymen.
Peace. Silence. Brutus speaks.
Peace ho.
Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake, stay here with Mark Antony, and do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not to man depart, save I alone, till Mark Antony has spoke.
Stay ho and let us hear Mark Antony.
We will let him go up into the public chair. We will hear him. Now will Antony go up?
For Brutus's sake, I am beholden to you.
What does he say of Brutus?
He says for Brutus' sake, he finds himself beholden to us all.
Toward Bessie speak no harm of Brutus here.
This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that is certain we are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Peace. Let us hear what Antony can say.
You gentle Romans.
Peace ho,
Let us hear him.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, 'twas a grievous fault, and grievously has Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man.
Honorable man?
So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man.
Honorable man.
He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that's the port of cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff, but Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man.
Honorable man.
You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, Brutus is an honorable man.
Honorable man.
I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment! Thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
Has he, masters? I feel a worse will come in his place.
Mark his words. He would not take the crown, therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dear abide it.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobleman in Rome than Antony.
Mark him. He begins again to speak.
But yesterday, the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who, you all know, are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I'd rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men.
Honorable.
But here is a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. And they would go and kiss at Caesar's wounds and dip their napkins in the sacred blood. Ye beg a hair of him for memory, and dying, mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as some rich legacy unto their issue.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
The will! Read the will!
Have patience, gentle friends. I must not read it. 'Tis not meet, you know, how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, bearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you.
Inflame!
It will make you mad.
Mad!
'Tis good. You know not that you are his heirs, for if you should, what would come of it?
You shall read us the will, Mark Antony. Read us the will, Caesar's will.
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have overshot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men.
The
will, the testaments.
They were villains, murderers. The will. Read the will.
You will compel me then to read the will? Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar. Shall I descend? Will you give me leave?
Come down.
Descend.
Stand back, crew. Bear back.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. 'Twas on a summer's evening in his tent that day he overcame the Nervier. Look! In this place ran Cassius's dagger through. Cassius's dagger! See what rents the envious Casca made.
Envious Casca.
Through this. The well-beloved Brutus stabbed.
Well-beloved Brutus.
And as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it.
Blood of Caesar.
As rushing out of doors to be resolved to, if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no.
Kindly.
For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, oh you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him.
Caesar loved him.
This was the most unkindest cut of all. Oh, now you weep. And I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls, what weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here! Here is himself, marred as you see with traitors.
Oh, pity his spectacle.
Oh, noble Caesar.
Oh, woeful day.
Oh, traitors. Villains!
Oh, most bloody sight.
We will be revenged.
Revenge!
About!
Seek!
Burn! Fire!
Slay!
Let not a traitor live!
Hey, countrymen!
Peace there. Hear the noble Antony.
We will hear him. We will follow him. We will die with him.
Good friends! Sweet friends! Let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. Mutiny? You that have done this neither honorable. Honorable! I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony to ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise in mutiny.
Never, never! Come away, away! We'll burn his body in the
Burn
holy
his
ground,
body!
and with the brands fire the traitor!
Fire!
Take up the body!
Go fetch fire!
Hunt down fences! Pluck down farms, windows, anything!
Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take now what course thou wilt. How now, fellow?
Sir, Octavius has already come to Rome.
Where is he?
I heard him say Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
but like they had some notice of the people how I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius.
I've dreamt tonight I would feast with Caesar. And things unlucky charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth. What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Answer every man direct.
Aye, and briefly.
Aye, and wisely.
I and truthfully you. What is my name? Rather I am going. Where do I dwell? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely, and truly, I am going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend. Or an enemy.
As a friend.
That matter is answered directly.
Briefly, I dwell by the capital.
Your name, sir.
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Cinna!
Tear him to pieces, he's a conspirator!
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet. I am not Cinna the conspirator.
It is no matter. His name is Cinna. Pluck but his name out of his heart and turn him going! Tear him!
No, please.
Come, Prince! Violence to Croesus, to Cassius, burn them all! Send the Brutus to Alaska! Away!
These many, then, shall die. Their names are pricked.
Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus.
I do consent.
Lepidus, go ye to Caesar's house, fetch the will hither, and we shall determine how to cut off some charge and legacies. This is a slight and meritable man. Is it fit the threefold world divided he should stand one of the three to share it?
So you thought him, and took his voice who should be pricked to die, an hour black sentence and prescription?
Octavius, I've seen more days than you. And though we lay these honors on this man to ease ourselves of divers slanderous loads, he shall much bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven as we point the way.
But he's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse. Do not talk of him, but 'tis a property. And now, Octavius, listen, great things Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head, therefore, let our alliance be combined, our best friend made, our means stretched.
Let us do so, for we are at the stake and bayed about with many enemies, and some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? And if not so, how should I wrong a brother?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrong. And when you
Cassius, be content. Speak your grief softly. I do know you well.
that you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here in Sardines. And within my letters, praying on his side because I knew the man were slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a
In
case.
such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to an itching palm, to sell and mark your offices for gold to undeserving.
I an itching palm? You know you are Brutus that speak this. Or, by the gods, this speech were else your last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement shall therefore hide his head. Remember, March? The eyes of March. Remember, did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab and not for justice? What shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes instead of the mighty space of our large honors?
Brutus.
For so much trash may be grasped thus.
Brutus.
I had rather be a dog and bathe the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bay not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier. I older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to! You are not Cassius!
I am!
I say you are not!
Urge me no more, for I forget myself. Have mind upon your health, tempt me no more.
Away, slight man.
Is possible.
Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way in room to your rash choler? Shall I be frightened when the madman stares?
Oh, ye gods! Ye gods, must I endure all this?
All this! I mourn. First to your proud heart's break. Go show your slaves how choleric you are and make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? By the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do splits you. And from this day forth, I'll use it for my mirth. Yeah, for my laughter when you are waspish.
Is it come to this?
You say you are a better soldier. Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true and it shall please me well. And for my own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
Brutus, you have wronged me in every way. You have wronged me. I said an elder soldier, not better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
When Caesar hath lived, he durst not thus moved me.
Peace! Peace! You durst not so tempted him!
I durst not!
No!
Why? Durst not tempt him?
For your life you durst not!
Do not presume too much upon my love, for I will do that I will be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I am armed so strong and honest if they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal countenance from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts, dash him to pieces.
I denied you not.
You did!
I did not! It was but the fool that brought my answers back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not, till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye should never see such faults.
As flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Oh, Antony and young Octavius, come, revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is weary of the world, hated by one he loves, braved by his brother. Oh, I could weep my spirit into my eyes. There, my dagger, and here, my naked breast, a heart richer than gold. If thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike as thou didst at Caesar, for I know that didst hate him worst, lovest him more than to ever love Cassius.
Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will. It shall have scope. Do what you will. This honor shall be humor. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked up a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire. Who, much enforced, shows the hasty spark and straight is cold again.
Have I lived to be but mirth and a laughter towards Brutus? I, with grief and blood ill-tempered, vexeth him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
You forgive so much. Give me your hands.
And my heart too.
Oh, Brutus.
What's the matter?
You love enough to bear with me. Should my rash humor that my mother gave me make me forgetful?
Yes, Cassius. And from this day henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, he will think your mother's chides and leave you so.
I have not think that you could be so angry.
Oh, Cassius, I am sick with many griefs.
Sick of many griefs.
By your philosophy, you not use that you give space for accidental evils.
No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead.
Portia is dead.
Portia?
She is dead.
She is dead.
How I escaped from killing when I did cross you. Oh, insupportable and touching loss. Upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence, and grief that young Octavius and Mark Antony have made themselves so strong. For with her death that the tidings came. With this she fell distracted, and her attendants absent. Swallowed fire.
Swallowed fire.
And died so?
Even so.
Oh, ye mortal gods!
Speak no more of her! Welcome, good Masala. Now since we close about this tapering here and call in question our necessities.
Portia, art thou gone?
No more, I pray you! Masala, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi.
Myself have letters of the self-same tenure.
With what addition?
That by addition and bills of outlawry, Octavius Antony Lepidus had put to death in 100 senators.
Therein, our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 17 senators that died by their prescriptions, Casca being one.
Casca what?
Casca is dead, and by that order of prescription. Had you your letters from your wife, my lord?
No, Masala.
Or nothing in your letters writ of her?
Nothing, Masala.
That makes it strange.
Why ask you? Have you aught of her in yours?
No, my lord.
Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true.
Then like a Roman bear, the truth I tell. For certain, she's dead, and by strange manner.
Why? Farewell, Portia. We must die, Masala. With meditating once that she must die, and I have the patience to endure it now.
Even so great men, great honor should endure.
I have much as this, as art as you. But my nature cannot bear it so.
Run to our work alive! What do you think of marching toward Philippi presently?
I think it not good.
Your reason?
This it is. It is good that the enemies seek us, that he weary his soldiers and make himself a fence, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness.
Good reasons must the force give place to better. The people, twixt Philippi and this ground, do stand but enforced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy marching along by them shall make a fuller number up, comer fresh, new added, and encouraged. At what advantage shall we cut him off, if at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our backs?
Hear me, good brother.
Under your pardon, you must note beside, we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful, our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We, at the height, are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken to a flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all their voyage, all their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now at float, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures.
Then, with your will, go on. We'll go and meet them at Philippi.
The deeper the night is kept upon our talk, and nature must obey necessity, which you are miser and full to rest. Is there no more to say?
No more. Good night. Early tomorrow we will hence and meet them.
Good night, and good repose.
Oh, dear brother, this was an ill beginning of the night. Never let such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, good brother. Where is thy instrument?
Here?
What thou speakest so drowsily? Poor knave, I blame thee not. Thou art o'erwatched. Look, Lucius, here's the book I sought for so. I put in the pockets of my gown.
I was sure your lordship did not give it me.
Bear with me, good boy. I am much forgetful. Canst thou hold thy heavy eyes a while and touch thy instrument a strain or two?
Aye, my lord, and it please you.
It does, my boy. I trouble thee too much, but thou art willing.
It is my duty, sir.
I must not urge thy duty past thy might. I know young bloods these days look for a time of rest.
I have slept, my lord, already.
It was all well done. Thou shalt sleep again. I will not hold thee long. If I do live, I will be good to thee. This is a sleepy tune. Oh, murderous slumber. Layest thou thy leaden mace upon my boy that plays thee music? Gentle knave, good night. I will not do thee so much wrong and wake thee. If thou dost not, thou breakest thy instrument. I will take it from thee. Good boy, good night. Now, let me see. Is it not the leaf I turned down while I left reading? Yes, here it is, I think. How ill this taper burns. Who comes here? I believe it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition.
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Why? Then shall I see thee again?
I at Philippi.
Well, I will see thee at Philippi then. Now, taken hearts thou vanish. Ill spirit, I hold more talk with thee. Boy, Lucius, awake!
The strings, my lord, are full.
He thinks he is still at his instrument. Lucius, awake!
My lord?
Didst thou dream that thou so criedest out?
My lord, I do not know that I did cry.
Yes, that thou didst. Didst thou see anything?
Nothing, my lord.
Go commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid on some powers betimes before, and we will follow.
on in gallant show. Their bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately. Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand I, keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me, Miss Exigent?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words as better as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live, hail Caesar!" and bowed like bondmen kissing Caesar's feet, whilst the damned Casca, like a cur, behind struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers.
Flatterers! Now, think yourself, Brutus, that this tongue did not disturb today. If Cassius might have ruled.
Come, the cause. If arguing makes us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that the sword goes up again? Never till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged, or till another Caesar hath added slaughter to the sword of traitors.
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitor's hand unless thou bringest them.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus' sword.
Oh, thou wast thy noblest of thy shame. Young man, thou canst not die more honorable.
A peevish schoolboy, worthless of such honor, joined by a masker and a reveler.
Old Cassius still!
Come, Antony, away! Defiant traitors hurl me in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
Why now? Blow wind, swell below and swim bark. The storm is up, and all is on the hazard. Today is my birthday, for I am fresh of resolve to meet all perils constantly. Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly. Lovers in peace, we shall henceforth. But if we do lose this battle, and if this is our last time, where shall we meet?
I know not how, but I do find it's cowardly and vile in fear of what might fall. So to prevent the time of life, arming myself with patience to stay the providence of some high powers that govern us below.
So if we lose, would you walk about the streets of Rome full of tyranny?
No, Cassius, no. Think not, thou noble Roman, that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind. But this same day must end the work the eyes of March begun. And whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore, this everlasting farewell take, forever and forever. Farewell, Cassius. If we meet again, why then, we shall smile. If not, then this parting was well made.
Forever and forever. Farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we will smile. And if not, indeed, this parting was well made.
Why then, lead on, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere to come, and it sufficeth that this day will end, and the end is known. Come, pull away.
Cassius, look! The villains fly!
Oh, Cassius. Brutus gave the word too early. Who, having some advantage on Octavius, took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil. Whilst we, by Antony, are all enclosed. Fly further off, my lord. Fly further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius. Fly far off.
Look, Decius. Are those my tents where I perceive fire?
They are, my lord.
Decius, if thou love me, mount on my horse and hide the spurs in him, and he will up to yonder troops. And here again, I will ensure if yon troops are friends or enemies. I have breathed first, where life has took me this far. But why? Caesar, art thou revenged with the same sword that died with thee?
Tis the change, for Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus' power. Cassius' legions are by Antony.
These tidings will welcome for Cassius.
Where did you leave him?
On this hill.
It's not that he lies upon the ground.
He lies not like the living. Oh, my heart!
It's not that he.
No, this was he, Metellus. But Cassius is no more. O setting sun, is in thy red rays thou dost sing tonight. So in his blood, Cassius's day is set. The sun of Rome is set. Our day is gone. Clouds, dews, and dangers come. Our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed.
Mistrust of good success hath done this deed. Oh, hateful error, melancholy's child. What dost thou show to the afterthoughts of men, the things that are not? I will go seek him. Odysseus, must thou go meet the noble Brutus, thrust the support into his ear.
Hide, Metellus. Why dost thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? And did not they? Alas, thou hast misconstrued in everything! But hold thee. Take this garland on thy brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it thee. And I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Cassius' sword and find Decius' heart.
Where must I have got this body lying?
Alone yonder in Theseus mourning it.
Decius faces upward.
He is slain.
Oh, Julius Caesar! He walks abroad by his spirit and turns our swords in our own proper entrails. Are yet two Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans. Fare thee well, friends. Oh, more tears to this dead man shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. I shall find time. We shall try fortune in a second fight. The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me several times that night, at Sardis once, and by this night here in Philippi fields. I know my hour has come. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. I shall have glory by this losing day. More than Octavius and Mark Antony, by this vile conquest I shall attain unto. So, fare thee well at once, for Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon my eyes, my bones would rest. Thy life had some smash of some honor in it. Hold then my sword and turn away thy face, while I do upon it. Farewell. Caesar, now be still, and kill not me. You have so good. Oh well.
What man is that? For Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death. All that serve Brutus, I will entertain them.
Brutus was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in a general, honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, the elements so mixed in him, that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man!
According to his virtue, let us use him, with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier ordered honorably. So call to the field to rest and let's away, to part the glories of this happy day.